Hello everyone, we are going to study the nervous system part 2. In this we are going to study about conduction of a nerve impulse. We have already studied in my previous video about the structure of neuron and how the impulse is traveled. What is impulse? The message that has to be transferred from one end, that is from cyton to the axon. It travels in the form of impulse. Now how is this conducted in the axon? But before we study this, we need to study certain important terms. I also told about excitability in my previous video. What is excitability? It is one of the properties of the nerve fiber, which is when the nerve fiber receives the stimulus. A nerve fiber consists of many neurons. Now each neuron can be excited when it gets the stimulus. Stimulus is any change in the environment. So on receiving the stimulus, the nerve gets excited. The second term is conductivity. After the neuron gets excited, this excitement conducts through the entire neuron. This is known as conductivity. So the transfer of this excitement along the length of neuron is known as conductivity. Then threshold stimulus. Now this word has the word stimulus, threshold stimulus. Now what is it? This means the minimum amount of stimulus which is required for excitability. It cannot be just any value. It should be minimum reaching to this threshold stimulus so that the neuron gets excited. So the nerve impulse will then carry on with the conductivity. So the minimum amount of stimulus which is necessary to bring excitement in the neuron is known as threshold stimulus. And there is a law called as all or none law. Is a law which tells that there can be stimulus which brings about excitability, or there will be no excitability at all. That means if the minimum threshold value is received, then there will be complete excitability in the nerve. But if there is a lack in the threshold stimulus, then there will be no excitement. This is known as all or none law. That means either a nerve fiber will respond to the stimulus or it will give no response at all. This is known as all or none law. Now let us study about the conduction of nerve impulse. This is the part of a axon. Okay, axon is the part from which the conduction takes place. So I have drawn this axon. Inside is axoplasm. Inside the axon, the cytoplasm is present, which is called as axoplasm, and outside this axon is the extracellular fluid, which we call as ECF. Now there are sodium ions that are present outside and potassium ions that are present inside. Due to the more amount of sodium ions that are present outside, there is always a positive charge which is developed outside and a negative charge which is present inside. That means axoplasm is more negative in charge and outside the ECF has more positive charges. This brings a potential difference, outside positive and inside negative. This is called as resting potential. The resting potential normally is minus 70 MV. So the resting membrane potential is present throughout the axon till the stimulus is received. This axon membrane is called as neurilemma. Now this neurilemma is more permeable to the potassium ions. Inside the potassium ions are present, and outside the sodium ions are present. So this NuRi-lemma is more permeable to the potassium ions than to the sodium ions. As a result, the potassium ions leave the NuRi-lemma, the exoplasm, and gets accumulated outside. This results in the positive charge outside, and inside a negative charge is being created. On the other hand, the sodium ions from outside cannot immediately enter inside. So the resting potential is developed. The sodium ion, if wants to come inside, there is a sodium potassium pump. This is a type of active transport. What is active transport and passive transport? The active transport is that transport in which ATP in the form of energy is utilized. So if ATP is utilized, the transport is called as active transport. So when sodium has to come inside, the ATP has to be utilized, and therefore this is a much expenditure of energy. This is what is called as sodium potassium pump. Now this is the first step of the conduction of nerve impulse, initiation of impulse. This is the axon, as I told you, and this is the part which is showing the resting potential with positive charges outside and inside the negative charges, and it is minus 70 millivolts. The threshold stimulus has to be achieved. That means when the stimulus is received, it is not any amount of stimulus. The threshold stimulus should be received. When the threshold stimulus is received, the potential almost reaches between 55 millivolts to 60 millivolts. When this is received, what happens is this polarity changes and the permeability in the membrane also changes. This becomes more permeable to sodium ions, and therefore the inside of the membrane becomes positively charged and the outside becomes negatively charged. Since the NuRi-lemma has become more permeable, the sodium ions come inside. With each 3 sodium ions inside, the 2 potassium ions go inside. That means more amount of sodium ions are inside. This is called as influx of sodium. Now there are more sodium ions. This creates a inner positive charge and outside it becomes negative. This area becomes depolarized. When the polarity changes, it is known as depolarized. So this is resting potential and this region has become depolarized. So the change in potential is called as action potential. Earlier it was resting potential, and after receiving the threshold stimulus, the stimulus becomes 55 MV to 60 MV in the potential. The membrane becomes depolarized and this change in potential is known as action potential. Now this is the second step called as transmission of nerve impulse. Once the stimulus is received, the impulse is generated. This was the initiation of impulse. But after the initiation, the nerve impulse has to be transmitted. The depolarized region tells about the initiation of nerve impulse. Now this has to be traveled. When the action potential is at the peak, that means the depolarization has already taken place. The gates of the sodium ions again close so that the membrane becomes less permeable to sodium, and therefore this particular region in which the potassium ions which are present outside, they will come inside and the sodium ions will move outside, regaining this particular position. That means the outside will be again positively charged and inside will be negatively charged. In the ECF, we know this region outside is ECF. We know that there are negative charges outside, they gradually travel over here, and because there is positive charge this side, they gradually travel over here because it is excited, the opposite charges attract each other, and this towards here. So this region becomes repolarized and the front region becomes depolarized. This region has original resting potential. This case is present here also. This was only this region which is depolarized, and outside is positive and inside is negative. Since there are changes in the charges, this will gradually move towards here, this will gradually move towards here, and the next region will become depolarized and the previous region will become repolarized. If this was the resting potential, this is the depolarized part, this will become now repolarized. That means this region will again become the same with positive charges outside and negative charges inside, and this will move the polarization region over here, and this region will become depolarized, and again in this way the transmission of nerve impulse takes place due to change in the potential. So this action potential moves on from one part of the neuron to the other part, and this is very fast. Speed. On it. The conduction of this nerve impulse in myelinated and non-myelinated nerve fibers differ. I told in my previous video what is myelinated and what is non-myelinated nerve fibers. The myelinated nerve fibers are those which have the presence of myelin sheath. Myelin sheath is also known as medullary sheath. So myelinated nerve fibers are also called as medullated nerve fibers. Non-myelinated nerve fibers are also called as non-medullated nerve fibers. And the myelin sheath is made up of fatty tissues. Therefore, the myelin sheath is actually acting like an insulator. So what happens if this is the axon and this is the myelin sheath? The myelin sheath was not continuous. There were nodes of Ranvier in between. So what will happen? We had just studied about the transmission of nerve impulse in the axon. So we know that the myelin sheath is fatty layer and it is an insulator. There is no such permeability in the myelin sheath. So whatever exchange of ions I told you right now in this video will not take place in the myelin sheath region. It will only take place in this region. So the sodium ions and potassium ions will exchange only from the nodes of Ranvier. So what happens is the action potential will be generated over here, and then it has to jump from this place to this place, and then again from this place to this place. So this jumping of the impulse from one region to the other region is known as saltatory conduction. While in non-myelinated, there is no myelin sheath present and it goes on smoothly, and there is more amount of energy which has to be expended over here. The expense of energy is higher in non-myelinated nerve fibers, and therefore the speed of impulse is rather low. And here, since it is in a jumping form, the speed is quite high, which is 120 meters per second in a myelinated nerve fiber. So this is very high, and because of the presence of myelin sheath, the saltatory conduction takes place. This nerve fiber ends in the axon, and below this terminal endings, the region which is called over here is synapse. Now what is synapse? Synapse is the junction between the two neurons. The other neuron starts over here with the cyton, the dendron and the dendrites. So synapse is that region between the axon endings of one neuron and the dendrites of the other. This synaptic region is not empty. This has a particular chemical substance which we call as neurotransmitter. Neurotransmitter can be of two types. It can be acetylcholine and it can be adrenaline. Adrenaline is also called as epinephrine. So the neurotransmitter is actually called so because the impulse never stops in the axon ending. It is not connected. The two neurons are not connected. Like we study in electrical conduction, if the wire is having a break in between, the conduction of electricity stops. But here the neurons are not totally in touch with each other. There is an empty space. Then how does the impulse travel? The impulse travel through the neurotransmitter from the axon endings into the cytone of the other. This neurotransmitter is a chemical which can be acetylcholine or adrenaline or epinephrine. It allows the impulse to travel smoothly through it, and then it is received by the dendrites of the next neuron. Those neurons which have choline, acetylcholine as the neurotransmitter, are called as cholinergic nerve fibers. This you will be studying in this chapter only later, and those which are having the adrenaline as neurotransmitter are called as adrenergic nerve fibers. So this is all about the conduction of nerve impulse. If you have any doubts, you can ask me in the comment section, and also refer to the description box for certain questions. Thank you.